Hello there my fellow Holotable heroes and welcome to another SWGOH video. So I'm back with another Conquest video. Now you'll be able to find this and all my other Conquest guides on my SWGOH for Life tool. If you haven't seen it yet, go and check it out, there'll be a link in the description below. Also in previous Conquest, it was exactly the same as this one. So number 4 Conquest exactly the same as number 5 Conquest. So if you're interested in detailed guide for each of the boss battles, again, there'll be a link in the description below to those guides on my SWGOH for Life tool. Now in this video I will be playing through Sector 4 as well, completing in the end all the feats versus Rey. Now Sector 4 is probably where things get a little bit, harder, enemies are faster, they're hitting harder, more and more enemies. Start with over prepared, gives them more speed. So it's not always easy to freestyle all the nodes straight away. But anyway, just showing you the disc I'm starting here with in Sector 4. We have to complete without attackers in your squad, score critical hits and apply marked 40 times. So we'll be looking out, for these feats when we go through, when you try to use teams that get those feats done. Anyways, just checking out what kind of discs I have, nothing too useful here anymore. I think generally the issue with the whole discs thing is that probably the actual disc selection gets generated as soon as you join the Conquest. And that's where RNG gets calculated. So it's not dynamic as you go through each sector that it would recalculate which ones to give you that maybe you didn't collect yet. That's why everything is repeating here. Anyway, started working on this feat here without using any attackers here. So Imperial Troopers are good because all these guys I use there are support, so they were able to do that. Got Padme here, steadfast retribution is not a fun modifier for the enemy. Geos there, they get extra speed from their modifier as well as extra speed from over prepared, so they can really rush you. So let's see if my troopers can actually burn through this Padme team. I know that attacks out of turn are not ideal versus Padme. However, let's see if we can pull this through still. There we go. I only lost one trooper, so it's not going to be a 3-star finish, but if at least I can get this done, it will help towards the sector feat where you can't use any attackers. And there we go. I'll have to come back 3-star this later in the end, but so far so good. We did apply only Mark 3 times. For Mark, ideally you would find a Night Sisters team, because then you can just keep Zombie alive and another Night Sister, and you can keep killing Zombie over and over again. While you're obviously getting those marks out. So we'll see if there will be some Night Sister squad ahead that we can use. Oh, there you go, there's one Night Sister squad, so definitely we'll want to get to that Night Sister squad as well. But we have to deal with Geos first, so him just using Rey with the droids. Now I forgot that the 3PO2 is an attacker, I should have used L3 actually. So that would also count towards the no attackers feat. So again, Rey and droids, another good option for the no attackers feat. And there we go. Just because Geos are so fast, and then thanks to BB-8's unique, we were able still to outrun them. And finally we got to the Night Sister zone here, where we can then keep taking out Zombie over and over again, because the thing is with this mark feat, whether you mark an enemy or one of your allies, it still counts. So here what I'm doing, just put on basic, so they take out Zombie, and I'm looking at Piet's turns, so every 3 turns his mark will be able to use again. Then I mark Stark, and you can get probably about 7, 8 or 9 marks done like this, and in these kind of situations. But as these now sectors progress, especially sector 4, 5, as mentioned before, many of these weaker squads, so non-meta squads, are over prepared. They've got so much speed that it's not fun anymore, to be honest, especially because we can't check their speeds. So definitely improvements here that could be made to make this better is that we would be able to, not necessarily check all the stats from the enemies, but at least if we could check their speeds before you go in that case at least will you be able to outrun them or not, do you have to remod or not. And as we are replaying this sector, this Conquest for the 5th time already, all these nodes are just becoming so repetitive. So definitely, I have a couple of ideas that maybe would spice up the Conquest a bit, just to make it a little bit more interesting. because boss battles are fun, you know, at least they change them. You know, every 2 conquests are kind of the same, then they change them, but all the nodes just become so repetitive over and over again. So, you know, maybe what they could introduce is a sector. So instead of having all 5 sectors with 5v5, how about we have a sector that's 5v5, then let's next sector could be 3v3, and how about a sector full of fleet nodes? Now, I know not many people love fleets, but I personally, I do love fleets. I have pretty much all the fleets except rebels built up. I just never got around to relicking Akbar and Bistan at some point, but I do have lots of fleets available to use, and we do not really have many opportunities to use fleets. Like characters we use in a lot of game modes in a different ways, but fleets definitely, you know, there's opportunity if we would have a full sector of fleet nodes, fleet related feats. I think this would really make Conquest a little bit, you know, less boring, less the same thing over and over again in each sector. Just with each sector, enemies become beefier, faster, hit harder, just a little bit do something else rather than just keep bumping stats as we go, as we unlock each sector. And that, you know, as well from the same time, this maybe would encourage certain people to invest more in their fleet. So there's definitely some benefit for CG's part as well if people would start investing more in the development or their fleets. Because I know many people, they just have their, you know, couple of fleets for what they need for GAC and TW, and the rest they don't really mind at all. So definitely, it's something what I would like to see is 3v3 sectors and fleet sectors, just to mix it up a bit from that monotone of 5v5. So sector 1 could be, let's say, 5v5, sector 2 3v3, sector 3 back to 5v5, and then sector 4 could be fleet, and then just finish off with a 5v5 sector there in sector 5. And this would also allow them to have more like fun feats as well, rather than just the standard ones that we've been getting. Because, you know, it's really becoming so repetitive, the whole conquest here, especially when we have back-to-back exactly same boss battles. So we'll see how often they'll actually be updating these boss battles. We shall see what they will do. For now, you know, it was pretty much, we had some, you know, 3 kind of old meta squads and then 2 Galactic Legend squads in sector 4 and 5. So we shall see how that will go, or at least if they could cycle out the feats. So we'll see how things will progress here as more conquests are released. But for now, it's becoming monotone quite quickly. And, you know, especially, I don't know about you guys, but I would be really excited about that fleet sector. I'm not saying make a whole conquest of 3v3 or whole conquest of fleet battles, but just 1 sector each. I think that would be really good. And as well, another thing that they could as well connect a little bit more to the lore again. You know, whenever something is more true to the lore, I just feel like that people you know, engage more. It's more fun, it feels more real, more like Star Wars universe rather than just some random squads. So you could have, same as with territory battles, right? We have Separatists, we have Galactic Republic, we have Rebels, we have Empire. So how about here, you could have 1 sector where you go against all Empire units and all the feats are using Rebels. Then you have another one where you have, I don't know, all bounty hunters, and then you have to use something else against them. You have a Jedi sector and you have to use Sith against them. You have First Order sector, you have to use Resistance against them. So I think, you know, it will be just more fun a little bit, because like this, as far as I noticed, you know, I'm pretty much using the same things over and over again, the same teams. I have like 4 or 5 teams that I just use that easily burn through all the nodes. So again, a lot of characters remain unused. But obviously, if we would have to use some of those, you know, B, C, D grade teams to make it more like, from lore perspective, real, then obviously they would have to remove over prepare mechanic, because a lot of teams, they're not that quick, they don't have survivability, and if the enemies are over prepared, they'll just steamroll you. So definitely, I think removing this over prepare mechanic is absolutely necessary. Like, there are other ways to make this more challenging and difficult, rather than just you know, putting lots of speed and extra bonuses then on top of that that give them extra speed. So definitely, you know, I think that's something I would like to see more of, something that's more kind of lore based and more variety of different kinds of teams. rather than just saying for same thing over and over again. So there we go, another mark feed here with my troopers. Just taking out zombie over and over again. However, here, you know, you have to be careful. I actually timed out once. Because for every time Night Sisters is killed, the other Night Sisters, they'll be getting a stack of E-Core. So as you can see there, we've got Acolyte there hiding. She's already at 90, 100 stacks. And she just becomes so beefy that my AoE, I didn't have enough AoEs to finish her off on time. So here timed out. However, even though I timed out, all those marks still counted. So that wasn't an issue. So I just went back in and I made sure that I was using AoEs every now and then just to keep her health and protection low enough that in the end I was able to burn through her quickly. So this marked feat, I mean, you know, we don't have many characters that can mark, but at least if you do find the Night Sister squad, you can cheese them to get a few marks in. Obviously before, when we had cooling system this was much easier because you didn't have to wait for Piet to take 3 turns in between each mark. You could just keep marking over and over again. Same thing with Janet Revan. You could just keep marking over and over again because of cooling systems disc. Because disc-wise, I'm not sure. I think it's much harder to design new discs that maybe don't break the game than actually you know, change the enemies, change the sectors, make them more lore-based. I think with that they wouldn't really have to change any mechanics or any discs. Just say, here are all Empire, different Empire teams to get all the feats done, use Rebels. And same thing, you know, we could have Jedi, Sith, Galactic Republic, Separatists. We got so many factions here now. You could even have unaligned Force users versus, I don't know, scoundrels or something like that. You know, just a little bit to make it fun. Because you can see these battles now in Sector 4 getting very, very repetitive. Alright, making some progress here in marked, so I'm on 29 mark. This Gideon team is nasty. These guys are very quick. Again, over-prepared. So one of the ways here I thought, you know, Padme probably will the protection up. Can take a beating here, especially with Kenobi tanking everything for us. And then worst case scenario, if they keep healing up and we can't take them out, Rex should be able to use air advantage on them and take them out one at a time. Obviously we do have to worry about here tank, and there we go, used air advantage there on Gideon. After they take Gideon out, I mean, this thing falls apart, but as you can see, my Kenobi barely hanging in there. I do not want to lose him, because I do not want to go replay back, and if I don't need. Alright, let's see what kind of discs we got in here. Again, future vision. Alright, I'll just take another Terminator removal one, so I can stack Terminator removal when I do get to Rey. There we go. But see, they didn't really... I got 2 Rey teams. These are tough. Because again, here they are over prepared and they get extra bonus Terminator from BB-8 and extra speed. So I'm like, I'm not playing around with these guys, I'm just taking in CLS and smashing through them. Now we go, we got Darth Revan. Again, Darth Revan in Sector 4 is no joke anymore. Obviously if you do have Galactic Legends this is easier, but I just wanted to play through all these series of videos without using Galactic Legends, just to show you can get max rewards even without Galactic Legends. That, you know, they're not, they obviously make everything a whole lot easier, but you know, you can get away without using them, or at least maybe you have 1 or 2, you can still get away without using specific Galactic Legends. So you're just using obviously Gas 501st to burn through these guys, but they're putting up a fight here. I do not want to lose anybody, I do not want to replay. There we go, manage just about to 3-star this one. Alright, let's see what's next up ahead. We got a couple more battles and then we'll hit Rey. Alright, we got Night Sisters, we got, yeah, let's go with Night Sisters, I think. Here, my troopers here, their stamina was already low. That's why I'm deciding, okay, let's bring in Jedi, maybe get a few marks here in with Revan. Now luckily no Acolyte here, so we don't have to worry about her hiding in stealth. So again, just want to kind of just get down here to only Zombie and another Night Sister, and then you can just keep taking out Zombie over and over again, and then keep using Mark whenever you can. But here I'm like, you know what, I'm done playing with these Night Sisters. Let's just finish them. I'll do the Mark Feat at some other point. And what do we got here? No, I don't need the Ruthless Offense. I need the Ruthless Swiftness. That's the one I really need. Not sure if I'll take Amplify Agony, but I'm never going to use this disc. So as mentioned in one of the previous videos, if you could maybe sell the discs you don't need for Conquest credits, again, it would alleviate a little bit that credit crunch that we have. Because obviously they're charging us for unequipping discs, as well as, you know, we got now both Razor Crest and Commander Ahsoka Tano in scavenger shipment. So here is another good team, as I mentioned before, a team without any attackers. So you got Rey, she's a tank, Elfrey's a tank, and the other 3 droids there are all support. So it's a pretty good team, especially versus these over-prepared unit team enemies, because BB-8's unique will give you so much bonus turn meter to your droids in this team, and then Rey will start going, and you know, your turn meter train is in effect. Boom, boom, boom. Finish up Grief, and there we go. All right, let's see. Any useful discs finally? I only got 2 Zealous Ambitions. Ed there gave me 2 here to choose from, and that power is not very useful at all, I think. But I'll take it because I don't have it yet. So more useless discs added to my inventory. Alright, we got 2 more with no attackers in squad and 7 more feats with Mark, but we'll deal with those later. Now for Rey, we have to remove 700% turn meter, attack out of turn, and win without using support units in your squad. I've done a detailed guide using Vader for all those feats, link in the description below if you need. But let me just show you here, I changed a little bit my discs here. Entrenched, Vitality, Boost Survivability, Potency Calibration is key as well, so you can land those dots, and any sort of decay turn meter discs for extra turn meter removal will help immensely. Alright, so here is the one where I'm not using any support units, so you just have to use kind of tanks around Vader so they can take all the hits. Darth Revan here as well is good, because he can apply fear and everything, and if he gets hit he can equalize health as well, so even though he's not a tank, you know, he can survive a few hits. Alright, so time to go merciless here on these guys. Just go around, ability blocks. Also on Poe. There we go. Alright. Yep. Put fear on everybody. Counter attacks. Don't like it. Let's get rid of all that critical damage immunity. Rey will probably go into her ultimate in a moment. Alright. Don't have many dots on her, unfortunately. So even that potency disc not helping us too much here. Okay, there goes Rey into her ultimate. Now because of entrenched and vitality discs, my guys are beefy, so I'm hoping everybody will be able to survive here. Ultimate from Rey. There we go. Alright, lost Sith Trooper. Everybody else is still alive. Alright, let's... of course no shock or anything. Alright, but at least we got fear. Now we have to deal with damage immunity on Rey. Not looking good, but once my Vader gets another turn, I think he should be able to do some damage here. Okay, so we got Malak there for the fear and taunts and everything. Let's just chuck this, and there goes Finn. Alright, we've got now armor shreds over on Rey. I think these are actually random, which debuffs trigger first or something, I don't know. But anyway, we do have a lot of debuffs now on Rey, so let's just go and take her out as well. There she goes, and now I just have to clean up here. Of course, they hit the damage immunity. Anyway, let's get some shocks on board. So no foresight there for BB-8. Drain him. I'm not sure I triggered already damage immunity on these two guys or not. There goes BB-8. There goes damage immunity on Poe. Come on, boys, let's take him. Let's give him a turn so we can finish off. And hip, bam. Yep, one more hit, and that's it. And this completes this first feat that we wanted to do here, where we have to win without using support units. So I use attackers and tanks. And now we got 2 more feats to go. So the Termite removal one and attacking out of turn. And this is the best one to use here is Vader. And what? Again, looking at discs here. I mean, massively overpowered is nice. It would help with some of the nodes. But it's a 4.1, and again, it would cost a lot to remove. So I'm not using it at all, unfortunately. However, here I did swap some of my discs here. So before I had stacking offense, just so that Vader could build up offense discs. Here I swapped those stacking offense discs for DK Terminator discs because we need Terminator removal. Again, I've got a guide how to do this. Obviously, if you do have Gideon, he's a good one to use. However, my Gideon here had low stamina because of all those mark feats that we were trying to complete. That's why I'm bringing in this team. We go. So we do have 2 DK turn meter discs, so whenever we deal damage we can remove like what 10% turn meter from each enemy. And then what is called to assist whenever anybody with tech uses special ability, so he can remove 15% turn meter. Thrown on his fracture removes turn meter. Then the AoE attack from Geo Brute as well removes turn meter. So here is about, you know, not load your guys with offense, but load them with turn meter removal. Because if you take them out too quickly, especially without use of Gideon, you will not be able to remove 600-700% turn meter. So here it's about taking things slow. However, as now slowly the inspired, their buff will spread, as long as Galactic Legend Rey is alive, you will not be able to remove turn meter from the enemies with inspired. So it's just something here to point out. So what you probably want to do is take out Rey first, because then you'll be able to remove turn meter from everybody else. So that's the overall idea, just trying to stack enough debuffs on Rey. There you apply tenacity as well. If you do not have potency disc, the special attack from Treya there applied tenacity down. Now instead of Treya, you could also use Malak or anybody else that applies tenacity down, and this will just allow you to land those debuffs more reliably on Rey. And once we stack enough, we'll just here unload the Calling Blade and take her out. We'll see. We got about like what 6-7 debuffs. That was just about enough, it looks like, to take her out. And now here we can go ahead and remove turn meter from anybody, even though they've got on them inspired. So that's your target here. Take out Rey, and then you will have to take your time. Just do you know, small attacks on everybody. Keep removing turn meter from them. It's also worth pointing out here that obviously the leadership there from Thrawn, it gives to himself and Vader, because they're Empire, this ability here that they just kind of cleanse the debuffs, gain 50% turn meters. It's a non-attack ability, and whenever you do use that, for example with Vader, I got attack on him, then what will come to assist and remove without me doing any damage to him. So this is pretty much the strategy. With Rey out, just kind of spread the damage, take your time, do not try to take out these guys too quickly, just to make sure that you can remove enough turn meter from them. So let me just speed up through this, because it's just like 7 minutes of me spreading my attacks. You know, it's not really a whole lot to say here. Just running down the clock as much as you can. Take your time with these guys. There we go. As you can see, I pretty much used up almost all 10 minutes here. And this completed then that turn meter removal feat, as well as attacking 30 times out of turn. So these are all the feats done here on Rey's boss battle in Sector 4. No issues, again, same as in my previous guide that I did. It's a pretty straightforward one, even though I didn't use Gideon here. No issues at all. Okay, there we go. So we do have now a couple of them I think I didn't 3-star, so we will do those, as well as we need more marks and a couple of more battles here with no attackers. So I'm just here using my troopers with low stamina, but still they should be able to take out this Night Sister squad in the first sector, because the Thousand Lead is harder, I think, just because they keep coming back whenever they would use basic, whereas here you just kind of burn through them, and same thing, hit basic and just keep an eye there on how many turns your PRE is taking, and every 3 turns then his mark will be able to be used again, and then you just apply mark and hit auto basic again. So it's pretty much, hopefully this will be enough now to complete marks. I think I need like 7 more or something, right? So I think that we should be able to do that. But again, keep an eye there on Acolyte. You do want to use your AoE every now and then just to make sure she's not at full health and protection, because if she's at full health and protection with so many stacks of Ichor, she'll be just too tanky. You won't be able to finish her off quickly, you know, within the last 30 seconds. And there we go. Yep, there we go. 1 by 1, inflict marked, completed feat. So I think I just got one more feat to do without of use of any attackers. Let's see, are there any nodes that didn't free star yet? Okay, so we got there one. But I think it's a difficult one, so let's just first use Rey and her band of droids again on this easy one here with bounty hunters to get the feat done without using any attackers. And then we'll do that one more to get as well their max stars, and that will complete the playthrough of Sector 4. Okay, there we go, boom, yeah, okay. There we go, so you can see that's what I'm saying, like, you know, just going back, replaying some of the nodes just for the feats, just seems a bit like, you know, artificially creating replayable content without any reward. At least like this, if you give me 10 credits, I would happily go back and replay and max out all the feats, but without any sort of conquest credits for reward for feats. You know, as soon as I hit my max grade, I'm done. I'm done with Conquest. First couple of times I did max out because it was still fun, something new, something different. But now it's just repeating over and over again. I'm not bothered anymore. Alright, so I'm just going to use kind of, you know, Palpatine, Traya, Throne. So this kind of standard Padme counter here. But obviously can get tricky just because of the steadfast retribution modifier on the enemy side. So here we're going to swap with Traya, isolate Kenobi. You know, guys, how this goes. It's a standard Padme counter. Alright. That's why here, for example, heal over time or health recovery discs are good versus these teams with steadfast retribution, because at least it allows you to regain some health every time you take a turn. But again, you know, I would be moving this disc a lot more around. But hey, I've said it many times already, and I'm probably already boring with this. But man, charging credits for unequipping discs just totally destroys this mode, if you ask me, because this mode has so much potential. It would be so much more fun if you could easily for free swap out discs for different battles. It would really allow you to have a lot of fun. Like this, you're pretty much just stuck to your standard, you know, optimal data discs, kind of they're overall good, and you know, just becomes a whole lot boring, this game mode, quite quickly, if you ask me. Anyway, there we go. All right. Arc Trooper there, he can counterattack, so maybe I should just leave him alone until we can stun him or something. Just get General Skywalker. We don't want him unloading AoE on us. Alright. Oh, there goes counterattack. Got a stun with Throne. Perfect. Alright, only down to Ahsoka, and I think this will now complete here today's video, playing through Sector 4 for all the nodes, trying to get all the feats done. And in this one, actually, I did complete all of them, so we didn't have those Jedi or Sith that I would need to go back and replay. I was actually able to max out here Sector 4. So Sector 4 feats are not too bad, actually, in terms of replayability. They're kind of okay. It's only the first 3 sectors, you kind of have to go back and do more battles later. So I'm hoping I will not need them for max rewards. Alright guys, hope you find this video useful and helpful, just showing you how I played through here Sector 4, what kind of teams I'm using for different feeds, as well as the boss battle. Anyway, I'll see you in the Sector 5 video, I hope, but until then, have fun, enjoy your life, and may the RNG be with you, my friends.